it is your feel-good breakfast show, and it's been a busy one at that. Now, on Mondays, we love talking relationships. And you know what? Today, we are also going to not only talk about relationships, but unpacking the red flags in friendships. Now, you may think that your friend has your best interests at heart, but often we find ourselves in the company of friends who are anything but friend-like. Now, we can avoid investing our time and energy in the wrong friends. And what is that we should be looking out for in a good friend? Those are some of the questions we want to unpack today. But what we've done is we took it to the streets to find out what you thought of this, and this is what you had to say.
A friendship red flag would probably be if they're bad-mouthing their other friends, because they're probably talking badly about you too.
Red flags in my own friends. I don't think I can find any. Is there something called a green flag? Maybe, I don't know.
Somebody that is not going to be honest with me.
When they only want to check in on you or have a catch-up when they want to ask for a favor.
Personally, I'm trying to work on how frequently I touch base with my friends. I think everyone is struggling with this in this day and age.
I would make my friendship end with my friends is gang-related issues.
Something that friendship needs is trust.
Someone that listens. I feel like everyone just needs someone that's willing to listen to them.
Ah, okay.
Very nice.
I see what's going on the streets. I love the fact that we're including the entire part of Mzansi as well. So this is very, very relevant right now, and it's a conversation I think you all want to join in. And one more person that we're going to add to this conversation is our registered online counselor, Shanaz Moose, in the building, and she's here to help us learn more about how we can become the good friend that we seek. Shanaz, I was going to say good morning to you. How are you doing?
Hi, good morning. A bit stressed because I was kind of rushed into the hot seat this morning, but here I am. I'm showing up. This is an important topic.
But can you blame us? I mean, obviously, this is an important one, like you mentioned, and we love hearing everything about what you have to say and also getting educated. Now, for me, I love this saying that goes, you are the average of the 5 people that you hang around the most, right? So is this a statement that does ring true, and especially when it comes to our friends? Is this something that we should be aware of?
Yeah, I don't think many of us understand the circle we have around us are supposed to be our power pack. You know, the people who instill power and continue to empower us. So that the 5 people that you have around you, if they don't really do that, then there's a question mark around your power pack.
That power pack is important. I mean, something I've learned is the minute someone triggers my anxiety, I need to look at why. Well, Shanaz, you're the pro here. I want to ask you, how important are good friends to our mental and our emotional well-being?
You know, not everyone is born into families that give them a sense of belonging and a feeling of being accepted. So when we make friends, this is a choice. So guys, actually ask for a CV of people when you want to have friends, or vet them that in the terms of, are they going to be good for me? You have enough family drama. You don't need friend drama adding to your mental stress and causing more anxiety for you.
Wow. Now, look, I got to make this more personal, because I think for a lot of us, we've experienced some ups and obviously some downs when it comes to friendship. And a lot of us that have been so hurt by our friends, just like other relationships, you kind of become quite guarded. And the close friends that you do have, I know for me, I would keep them at an arm's length just because you hurt me, or I was hurt, and I don't want to go through that pain again. And making myself vulnerable to my friends means that I am exactly that. I'm vulnerable to the potential of being hurt. But is this something that we need to kind of be aware of? Is it something in terms of practicing that it's okay to keep your friends at arm's length, or is it something we need to kind of work through and resolve?
Okay, so I was just chatting to Lucian before I came on, and I mean, in the Self-Mastery Institute, the 3rd month is relationships and boundaries, and I teach people to literally go through their circle and assess people based on levels of trust. That we may trust someone at one level, but they do not deserve that trust. They trust us all at a different level. So we just think it's mutual because I have absolute mutual or pure trust in you that it's returned. But there's contractual trust, there's neutral trust that we haven't been taught how to go through the stages with people. Sometimes we're just so desperate, I think it's an ugly word, but it's all I can think of, that we all in. And we don't often give ourselves time to assess this person's level of trust.
I'm one of those people, if you break my trust, it takes me a really, really long time to allow you back into that inner circle to regain that trust. But Shanaz, I want to know from you, often people who get into serious romantic relationships, such as a marriage, they slowly along the way lose some friends and relying almost entirely now on their partner. Now, to be that friend for them. In your opinion, is this a good or a bad tactic? Because it tends to happen sometimes.
I mean, it all depends on the order of things. I mean, I knew my husband before we got married. We were actually friends. I friend-zoned him. And many years later, it transitioned into, you know, a relationship of intimacy. But the thing is that when you start off with friendship, you know basically everything there is to know. The other way around, you tend to keep parts of yourself from that person which come out during your romantic relationship. And the need to have this person be your world is a mistake. And thanks to Jerry Maguire, you complete me. That's just a bunch of crap, because it's actually, you compliment me. So what we should be saying is, you compliment me, you add to my already full amazingness, not you complete me.
Yeah.
Well, Shanaz, you definitely are complimenting us when it comes to our knowledge, when it comes to becoming the friends that we seek, and also continuing with this incredible conversation. So, Mzansi, don't go anywhere. We're going to hit the streets again. We're going to discover what some of our viewers have to say when it comes to the red flags in our friendship. Now, I know there are many of them. Zoe and I have a few that we could mention right now, but we're not going to be going anywhere. This conversation continues in just a moment. You'll see you soon.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, Mzansi, welcome back. Your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Of course, it is Monday, and we're carrying on with all the good stuff and continuing the conversation about relationships, and we're talking about the important ones right now. We're focusing on identifying the warning signs we should look out for in friendships that do not serve us, right? There's so much to talk about right now. We had a part one with our specialist, Shanaz, in the building, and of course, that conversation does continue right now.
There we go. Well, Shanaz, you know what? I think let's jump straight to it. What are some of the red flags, especially in friendships, we need to be looking out for?
You know, everyone always has that friend who keeps on borrowing money or borrowing things of yours. So the friends who keep crossing boundaries, money, time, anything that's never returned. So there's always this unfair exchange where you're giving, but when you are in need, they are nowhere to be seen. So for me, that's the one red flag, that this relationship isn't mutually beneficial. That's a big thing, I think.
I think it is important because for me, especially as we get older, you start to realize what you want and especially what you don't want. Whether that's going through some hard times to make you realize that, or just like, I'm not standing for that anymore, I'm done with it. Is there a reason as to maybe why I think as we get older, we sometimes find it a little bit harder to draw those deeper and quality connections to our friendships? And is there maybe a reason for this? Because I'm finding it at the moment that I used to be making friends all the time when I was younger, but nowadays I'm like, not so much. So I choose my friends very carefully. I don't know what's your take on that, Shanaz?
I think when you're younger, your requirements are quite more like just fun people you gel with, that you have. But as you get older, you become a bit more discerning, and trust and people who can keep your confidence is important. And also people that have similar, so you outgrow people. You know that saying that some people are for a reason, a season, and a lifetime. Sometimes we don't understand that when we want to hold on to seasonal people, as if they're lifetime people, you outgrow your friends. And it's not a bad thing. It just opens the door for new, mature friendships. So I think, look at it like that rather.
Now, I love where you said when there's, a boundary being pushed, that's sometimes a red flag. And I know, being friends with someone, being vulnerable with them is also so important. But you often get some people that is just, for a lack of better explanation, emotionally draining as friends. Where do you draw that line in terms of maintaining a healthy friendship where it doesn't become a burden to you as an individual?
You know, a lot of people don't understand that a narcissist-type personalities need an empath person. So they're going to look for someone that they can basically, there's a book about emotional vampires, and they literally suck you dry. They literally drain all the emotion and joy out of you. Yeah. And that's how they get their fill. So you are never left with anything but only this horrible, empty, exhausted feeling. And we don't understand it. We just think that I must be a good friend. They're going through a tough time. I just have to be there. But different personality types are not actually good for you in terms of friendship. And narcissist is one of the biggest types that will really drain you.
Well, Shanaz, I'm really getting educated and I'm really starting to understand a few things. For one, it's making me realize that we do need to ensure that we fill our own cup up before we try to do that for anybody else. And especially when looking at the friends around us, what are they doing to our cup? Are they filling it up? Are they helping us with that? Or are they just draining it completely? Now, this is the conversation and this is the topic that we're talking about right now. And later on, we've got one more round where we're going to be discussing some good tips on how to practically involve yourself in a relationship and get a better friendship for yourself and for the ones that you're seeking to. So don't go anywhere. That final conversation, helping you, Mzansi, on how we can be more practical about this conversation.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, Mzansi, welcome back. Your Feel Good Breakfast Show, and what an incredible show it's been. There's been so much magic, so much entertainment, and of course, ticking all the boxes when it comes to serving you. But we are now ticking the box of carrying on the incredible conversation with our specialist. We're talking about love and relationships, and this discussion is zeroing in on the concept of red flags when it comes to your friendships. Earlier, the discussion was so much involved with looking out for the friends you're surrounding yourself by, especially those 5 friends. They have a big influence on you, and also make sure that you are filling up your own cup and it's not being completely drained. Now, Shanaz Moose is still online, and Zoe and I have been loving this conversation. Shanaz, you still online with us?
Yep, I'm here.
Shanaz, we want to know which traits, should we be looking out for in, finding a true quality friend?
Okay. So, I do this exercise with children when I see them in therapy, and I always ask, what qualities do they offer as a friend? So they list what they're looking for: someone who's kind, who's caring, who's respectful, who, prioritizes spending time with them, doesn't ask them to choose between other friends. So what you are is what you can attract. You cannot ask for something in a friend sometimes which you yourself do not embody. So I know that sounds a bit higher grade for kids, but they get it. And often we don't understand that feeling, that resentment that builds up is because we have friends that don't mirror those traits back to us if we have them. So that's essentially looking for that kindness, that respect. And I mean, big red flag, if this person has no other friends but you, wonder, put a big question mark and ask yourself, why am I their only friend?
Okay, I like that. And I like the fact you're talking practically about the traits here. So maybe we can stick to the practicality of it and say, if I'm wanting to change my friendship circle, if I feel like it's not working, it's draining me, how can I then attract the friends that I seek? Is it me just looking for the same qualities that I have, or does it go beyond that?
Yeah, I think that it's like you can't keep on going to a junk food place and expect to eat healthy. So you can't keep going to the same watering hole. You need to expand, find new interests. So if you suddenly maybe take up meditation and join up with a group, you're going to meet a whole lot of people on a different buzz completely because you have expanded your consciousness. You need more of those kinds of friends. So when you speak, you don't sound like a crazy person. That's essentially what you want. You want people to get you when you speak and they know what you're talking about.
I like that. Just get me. Just understand me. That's what I'm asking for.
Well, you know what? It happens sometimes where you grow up with a friend and life happens. You either move away, you lose contact, you lose out on that friendship. Is it normal for friends to grow apart and actually just outgrow each other?
Yeah, I think that when we're younger, we often get friends by default, man. They're either neighbors, they're at school with us, they are friends of family, like a cousin's friend. So we have this through association, a friendship. But as we grow up, we realize, actually, if I had a choice, I wouldn't choose that person. I actually don't like who they are or how they treat others. So as we grow up, we should be assessing our friendship circle all the time. We should not just be accepting, okay, these are my friends, I don't need to change, I don't need to, and you can promote and demote your friends. We think that everyone is allowed equal access to you. No, some people have a higher level of friendship status in the trust that you instill and that they have earned. So don't just keep everyone on the same level. Promote, demote, fire, hire.
I love that. Promote, demote. Now, those ones who you demote, obviously you won't tell them. What is the best way to, like...
Yeah, what's the process exactly?
Keep the connection, but, like, I mean, they're not your inner circle.
Yeah, I think when someone starts to trigger you like that, the first thing, if you're on social media, unfollow them so that you don't get triggered. You don't block them immediately. You take small baby steps, man. Because often people tell you they can't do certain things, and then your friends, that is, and you see them on social media out with other people, and that's a sting for you. So it's like a slowly separate yourself from them so that you can then see when we make space in our lives, we allow other people to enter. People more deserving of us. We are a rare commodity. We should not just give ourselves to whoever comes along.
I like this. I think officially from now on, when I start unfriending people and they ask me why, I'm going to say, well, go speak to Shanaz, because she's the one that's giving me all the challenge right now. But I love it. I love the fact that you're direct and you're honest about it, because that's something I struggle with genuinely. And I, like Zoe was mentioning now, I genuinely would feel bad when I'm not friends with this person anymore. Like, removing you from the circle involves a little bit of trauma. I don't like doing that, and it's a difficult thing for me, but you reassuring me that that's okay to do, and I'm taking confidence in that. And I think it's important, because otherwise we're just going to be left with all this blood-sucking energy friends, and there's nothing left. So I like your honesty, Shanaz, and it's something very refreshing for me, and we don't have to be like, oh, it's okay. I'm with you. I'm on your side, yeah.
In this case, we did other the friend, but I think as a friend yourself, you also need to just look at yourself and see, well, am I giving off the qualities like Shanaz mentioned? Am I being kind? Am I being honest? Am I being draining? I think we need to look at ourselves too, just to assess that we don't become the other.
Well, Shanaz, thank you so much for the conversation. It's always an absolute pleasure, and I hope you have a beautiful start to your week and make some new, good, elevating friends.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, we definitely worked ourselves up an appetite with that one, so I think it's time to head to the kitchen and replenish those bellies. Let's head to it.